Bao removed his bio amid face reveal backlash. If she keeps posting face reveals or just her in her IRL fleshtuber self without being a VTuber, she doesn't deserve to be a VTuber anymore. Let's get it.
Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of an update on the whole Bao the Whale situation. Now, if you guys don't know, obviously, a lot of people have been going after Bao over the fact that she obviously calls herself a VTuber, right? And again, it has been a pretty interesting argument to look at as we've looked at both sides of people kind of discussing this, but there's been one big major change which you guys probably have noticed is the fact that she's actually changed her bio, right? One of the big factors that people were pointing towards in this whole debate was the fact that in her bio it still said VTuber, and a lot of people were pointing out that, you know, she posts pretty much only IRL content. There's a couple of clips that were VTuber, of course, but mainly the content has been IRL. I'd say about like an 80-20 split, right? But yeah, people were then kind of calling into question, well, what really makes you a VTuber if you are obviously constantly, you know, uploading IRL content, and at what point does it make you not a VTuber, right? And obviously I talked
about right. So here's the thing. To be considered yourself as a VTuber, basically, of course, like it's a no-brainer that basically all your content or mostly your content should be in your VTuber model, or basically in your character, you know? Like you play the character, you use the character model, and interact with your community, right? So that's a definition of a VTuber. But, like, I won't give fault to anybody who would, you know, like, do a face reveal, and, you know, like something it does happen, right? Because, you know, like at conventions where VTubers would do meet and greets and meet their fans, and sometimes like it ruins the magic. But there are people that, you know, like, yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty much chill if they want to meet me face to face, and even if like they're different from their VTuber self to the IRL self, like, I'm pretty fine with it. But there are some like they refuse to go to VTuber conventions just to meet with their Oshis because, you know, like it ruins the magic of, you know, like, I know this VTuber because of her, this looks and their personality and whatnot. Like, I don't really care about their IRL self, and I just want to keep the magic going, you know, like the beliefs, you know. And if it comes down to Bao as well, like, I do understand that she's been at this game being a VTuber for probably over a decade now, and, you know, like showing her face is kind of a good thing. But the question is she still considered as a VTuber? Where if the majority of her content is pretty much a VTuber, then I guess. But the problem is for Bao is that she keeps posting IRL stuff on her VTuber account, where the VTuber account is meant to have a VTuber content. So all I'm saying is that if she wants to post like her IRL self, like do like selfies and stuff, like blah blah blah, why not make a separate account, probably like Bao IRL and shit, not the like post IRL stuff at your VTuber account, because it's supposed to be VTubers. Like, what? Like, come on.
About the fact that, you know, I used to have a VTuber model like years ago. Does that still make me a VTuber or not? Because now I, you know, don't use it, which again was quite funny. But yeah, you can see here the actual bio here says the difference between Chad and Chud is you, which is obviously the difference, which is different side to her old bio, which a lot of people have been pointing out. For example, this person says she removed VTuber from her bio, ha ha ha. Because you could see this was the original bio saying AKA I want to be bread girl, VTuber, VA, V singer, and then she had her tags for her you know, kind of art and things like that. Now it is interesting that she's removed like the art tags and things like that. I guess that's because it is a VTuber orientated thing. But of course, yeah, I mean, it kind of confirms the route I guess she's taking in content creation ever since her face reveal, because you know, lots of people were wondering, you know, well, is this going to continue? Is the kind of face posting, or whatever you want to call it, IRL posting, is that going to continue on? Or is she going to go back to like VTubing and then just like be a VTuber still, whatever? But it seems like now that she's changed her bio, she might be locked into the whole IRL content thing, which honestly I don't think is a bad thing, right? I think that, you know, obviously a lot of people were just wondering whether she was still like considering herself a VTuber or not, and at the end of the day it seems like she's not. So, you know, it you know, I think that's a good thing for her, right? I think honestly, you know, she's kind of clarified that maybe VTubing isn't going to be the main kind of content here through this bio thing, which again, I think that's fine, right? If she wants to do that and she wants to just be a content creator now, that's totally fine, right? That's, you know, honestly good for her. And
because, like, here's the thing. This is pretty much like the ecosystem, or pretty much like the evolution of a content creator or a VTuber, whatnot. Because here's the thing. Like, same goes where people are, you know, like in the start where people would be tired of doing IRL webcam, so they slowly transition from IRL to VTubers, which is, you know, like understandable, because sometimes the content should shift, or like the tangent of whatever makes you like have fun and enjoy the side of content creation or streaming. Like, it's totally up to you, like, and it's totally normal to have a slow transition of what content you should make, and especially when it comes to like the longevity of your career, it is totally fine. Where, like, as I said before, like from IRL to VTuber, which is fine, but also at the same time VTuber to IRL, when, you know, like when you do like a face reveal and your community accepts it and has like a massive, you know, massive engagement, like most of the times it's positive, it would in turn, you know, encourage the content creator. You know what, they like me in my IRL self, and you know what, might as well give them what they want because they enjoyed it. I am like comfortable with it, so might as well go for it. So I guess like in this case for Bao, she's at the point where, you know, she would slowly transition from being a VTuber to just a regular content creator. But, you know, at the same time though, like the downside is that her community is pretty much like they're pretty much gotten used to her being a VTuber because of years of grinding, years of drama, years of basically, you know, Bao being a VTuber than her actual IRL self. Like, they stuck around for the VTuber self, not the IRL. But in the case of Bao, like, you know, like with drama and shit, probably, you know, like this is her moment to shift up and to evolve her content. So I guess, but yeah, like it's totally normal.
Hopefully she could do well at that. But of course, yeah, it seems like a lot of people have been, you know, making fun of it though, because it comes right after people have made edits like this, obviously talking about the fact that she has VTuber in her bio. And obviously some people saying, I don't know why people care so much, lol, her content at the end of the day. So her content at the end of the day. She's not a VTuber now though. Only 95% of your content becomes IRL streams. What's the point of continuing to ride off the community that VTubing provides? It's her content, yeah, but then she can keep the fan base there for her and not the fan base who likes VTubing. There's a ton of her fans who are upset about it, and tons of longtime VTuber fans that are upset about it. You're a VTuber as well, and one I can respect. But surely you have to understand why people love the escapism of VTubers as opposed to IRL streamers. Saying you can put this on your VTuber resume now, which is quite funny. Saying you actually believe that, well, I don't know what that means, but saying like you has any influence upon her, you're a sadder case of a retard than I thought. That you literally be jumping leaps and bounds for a girl who doesn't even know you exist. Then thank you for putting her in her place. Now get rid of Lily Bao and Cinder next. But I mean, they did do that. What? Okay, that's fine. I think the biggest issue with VTubers is that you can't precisely say what a VTuber is. If a VTuber decides not to be faceless anymore and go IRL, is she not allowed to be? Is she not allowed to because she's a VTuber? There are all these rules and BS that nobody understands. And I think honestly, it's one of those things, as I said in the last video, it's kind of like a ratios thing. I think that if your content is like 95% IRL content and 5% like VTuber content, I don't think that you really count as a VTuber. But obviously if it's like more like a 50-50, maybe even more, 60-40, more so VTuber than IRL, I don't think you could still be considered a VTuber, right? I don't think you automatically get considered not a VTuber if you start uploading IRL content. I think that you could probably do both, right? Obviously, there's many VTubers that are considered still a VTuber and do IRL content. For example, like Kason, right? She is still considered a VTuber because she does a mix of both, right? But of course, a lot of people have been, wondering, well, what's the direction of the content of Bao? Because as I said, the content has mainly been IRL posts ever since that face reveal. So people are wondering, well, is she going to still be a VTuber, or is this face kind of content going to be the new thing for her? And honestly, yeah, I think with the bio change, it might kind of spell a little bit of a change in her content, and obviously VTubing, maybe not VTubing as much in the future, right? It doesn't mean necessarily also that she's not going to be VTubing ever again, by the way. I'm sure that she probably will do, but I'm guessing the bio change was due to the backlash that she got from it, which has been pretty interesting, right? He's saying, with how much Bao has been posting IRL stuff with multiple face reveals without using the avatar, she has removed her VTuber label from her profile. Now it only exists on her tag. After all the Cinder drama, the Skeb drama, and the Misandry drama, this might be a move to rebrand herself, as evidently the sim audience has completely fallen for her IRL appearance. Now, again, obviously, yeah, this person is kind of talking about the fact that Bao has been involved in a lot of dramas, specifically in the VTuber community. And again, potentially, they're saying like she's doing this to essentially escape the audience that has been kind of going after her and stuff. Now, that could be true, right? That could be true. Again, I don't want to assume what Bao is doing, but to be honest, I wouldn't really blame her, for kind of escaping and going to a different community.
Because you know what? Because at this point where, like, being a decade of being, being online, being perceived as, like this, like this pinnacle or pretty much like a veteran VTuber, and also like with the amount of projects, or I don't know. Basically at this point, like she reached a breaking point where she would just to, like adjust or reevaluate if she wants to like if she wants to like mix herself with the VTuber crowd or the VTuber scene as well. Excuse me. But yeah, it's I guess like it's gotta be like it's a matter of time where she would try to like change her ways or just like distance herself with the VTuber scene. But that doesn't mean that she would stop, being a VTuber, I guess. But like she needs to appeal to the VTuber fans as well within her community as well. But I guess like she would do like 50-50 as well. When it comes to making content, whether she would use a VTuber avatar or just stream in her IRL, just pretty much using a webcam. But as I said before, like she needs to separate between like IRL and VTuber, because if she's gonna start posting IRL stuff, and probably I'm not gonna like go ahead of myself, but she would probably do she would probably do like a slow attempt on her like on the other side, which is the NSFW. If you know, where like she would try to experiment and see if her community would want that. So as I said before, like she really needs to have a separate separate account when it comes to IRL and VTuber, because like every time like picture this, every time when you go to a Bao Twitter account or a Bao YouTube channel, like you never know, like, oh my god, like what's the next upload? Is it either a Bao the VTuber or Bao the whale or Bao the human? Because most of the times, like, they'll prefer watching Bao the whale, not Bao the human. So make sure that you have like separate shit, or basically like make a like go to another social media, probably Instagram or I don't know, like Facebook. Who fucking use Facebook these days? But yeah, just have like a different account just for that IRL thing. If you want to post like only IRL, then yeah, go for it. But leave your like original accounts, which is only designated for VTubers, because if you have like mixed content on the account, it will not go well. Like they like a perfect example of this is Toma the tomato. Like she's a VTuber, like a tomato VTuber. Yeah. So basically, like she recently did a face reveal, but what separates from her and for Bao is that she separates her IRL on her Instagram, and the rest of her social media is for her own VTuber like model. Like when it comes to streaming, when it comes to her YouTube channel, it is strictly for VTubers. But when it comes to her Instagram, she would just make it for IRL. For that, like uh for that the her community have a choice, like if her community wants to check her new posts of her IRL, like face reveals and stuff, or pretty much like different outfits and shit, yeah, like they can just check her Instagram. But the rest of her community, which is big fans of her being a VTuber, then they can just enjoy like watching her like Twitch streams and her YouTube channels or YouTube videos, because that's how you that's how you separate your content. To like it's pretty much like the best in both worlds.
Because of course it seems like a lot of the VTubing community, well, I say the VTubing community, a lot of people who like VTubers and things like that, probably aren't too happy with her over the previous dramas and things like that. So maybe pivoting to IRL content could get her a new audience that maybe less so kind of responded to that drama and things like that. So again, I don't think it's necessarily like a terrible move for her. Honestly, it's a smart move if that's what the plan was. But also as well, I could understand that maybe she just wants to do it anyways, right? It might not even just be that. It might just be like one of those things where it was also like a bonus too. Saying, I have a thing for Asian girls, and I gotta say, Bao is not that attractive. Again, I don't really care about like is she attractive? Is she not attractive? Doesn't really matter to me. We're talking about the VTuber side of things, right? So yeah. I'm not sorry. The more I heard Bao and Iron Mouse open their mouths, the less I can tolerate them. Again, I don't have any problem with Iron Mouse. Again, they say yes, it's personal preference. So if you like them, go for it. What's your choice? And I just don't understand how the simp men can still support her after clearly the misandrous statements hating on men. So yeah, obviously a lot of people were angry over that as well. Like all the previous drama and things like that. And of course, some people as well saying it's so weird how haters obsessively are keeping tabs on something they dislike. What do you mean she noticed you? What do you mean you noticed she took the word VTuber out of her profile? Which again, I don't think like that's necessarily the craziest thing to notice. I think she has changed her bio quite drastically. And obviously the drama recently has been over her bio, so of course people are going to be keeping an eye on it, keeping tabs on it, as you said, to see if she does change it after this drama. So
like here's the thing, like Bao being being the eye of the storm, or pretty much like a lure of I don't know, like a lure for the apocalypse. Like she is a walking red flag when it comes to like during her career, like pretty much like a walking drama, because like every time like she would just brings in a new drama. I don't know, like just her being the usual mean girl energy, or like especially on Twitter, where she would just like tweet out some vague shit that at the point that eventually it will leads to a big drama, and she would just vague post. Like I still remember like the Saikuno situation. Oh my gosh. And also where like her usual misandrous comments or misandrous posts on Twitter. Yeah, that's pretty much her entire career based off where she will just bully, especially for men, even though like her entire audience is majority male. Jesus Christ, man. And you know what? Now that I think about it, you know what? It's good that Bao just removes the VTuber, because for many years, like she's one of the factors that ruins the VTuber name and ruins it for everybody, because like it's also like the like she also served as a green light that like, oh, like see how Bao and the others are doing, like they post like misandrous shit, and they bully men, and then being constant drama 24/7. Like that's pretty much how you grow your career. Like it's pretty much like a green light for any up and coming VTubers or new VTubers that, oh, like I want to like follow Bao's footsteps, or any other like mean girl VTubers that like they propelled their careers from the ground up just by being like going to constant drama, like bullying men, and just being cringe overall. Like pretty much like solidifying or being a being a bad example within the within the VTuber scene.
But I don't think it's like the weirdest thing on earth, because it's not like, people have been talking about her bio. Her bio has been the center of the conversation. So I think that's why people have been keeping an eye on it. It's not like people have just been watching her bio without like no reason at all. So yeah, people saying also, if a VTuber starts posting more IRL stuff and wants to branch out, and that's not the content you want to see, just unfollow. And I think that's fair enough, right? I think that if you want to see the content and you don't want to, watch her as not a VTuber anymore, that's also totally fine. You can go and unfollow, things like that. But I also think as well, people are, just genuinely talking about like VTubing in general, and whether it counts as a VTuber if you are uploading more IRL content, which I think is just the kind of thing that people are more concerned about, rather than whether the content was going to be good or something that they want to watch. But no, instead I see blank shaming, people literally rating her looks and saying she's ugly, really just straight up no lifing, which again, yeah, throughout all of these videos we've made on this situation, we haven't really, dived into like her looks as a whole. Obviously that's been a really big topic as well, alongside of this, people like rating her or saying that she looks ugly or saying that she looks great, or
and you know what might as well like add this to the video as well. I guess like like other streamers were right saying that like the like I'm not saying most, but there are some like female VTubers, like when they show or when they do like face reveals or IRLs, you know what, they're right. Like there are some that like there's some VTubers that their IRL is mid, and you know what, they're right. As for example, like yeah, like I don't really care. Like it's pretty much goes down to personal thing. But all I could say that like IRL Bao is kind of mid. Yep.
Literally any side of whatever you would call it. So again, I just don't think that's very. I don't do that to anybody, right? I don't think there's any point in making fun of someone's appearance or really bringing that in, because it doesn't really have any relevance to the conversation, right? It's just like, okay, you don't think she looks good, some people think she looks good, and that's fine, right? People have different opinions, people have different tastes, people have different just everything, right? It's just one of those things that people won't agree on, and it doesn't really add anything to this entire situation. I feel like, you know, the bio and talking about what a VTuber really means has more substance as a conversation than just like, I think that she's a 3 or I think that she's an 8. Like, it's just like, okay, like, who cares? Like, I don't care that she's an 8 or a 3. Like, it really doesn't matter, doesn't affect me. But I do think, obviously, you know, the whole changing the bio thing is interesting because, as I said, it could potentially lead to a shift in content and a shift in what we see in Bao's channel, which again, if she wants to go fully in and do that, I think that's fine, right? She's changed it now, so it seems like she is potentially going more into that kind of content. So we'll have to see how that goes for her, right? But yeah, that's essentially all there is for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.
Give it a like.
Also, going to give some use my code Kazo, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. So, see ya.
Right, great video from Kazahana as usual. In the manner of things, yes, I said before where it is totally normal, especially when you're a tenure or veteran content creator or VTuber that has been going at it for multiple years. It is normal to shift up your content or evolve your content from basically anything just to, you know, like enjoy making content in the first place. But the problem is when it comes to Bao is that like she keeps posting more and more IRL stuff than her VTuber, especially on the account which is made for VTubers, where, you know, Bao the Whale, like, you definitely know, like, when you read or heard the name Bao the Whale, of course, like, a lot of people will say like, oh yeah, Bao is a VTuber. But when you look at the account, it's full of her IRL pictures or just pretty much selfies. So yeah, like, the problem is for Bao is that separate your shit, separate your accounts, whether probably make another account or in a different social media platform where you can just solely or exclusively post IRL shit. Like, you know what, just post it on Instagram, you know, like, you get more followers on Instagram, like, especially for when it comes to IRL shit. And well, all right, and also with the you know, like, you know, with her, you know, her years or pretty much her entire career just, you know, being a bully, mean girl, misandrous and stuff, yada yada yada. And also like the I guess like I don't know, like, it's pretty much her, like, her content, but like, you know, like, being a garden hoe, yeah. I guess, like, in the side of the content, I guess, like, she would also slowly evolve that side of the content as well, because, you know, like, of course, she's shown her face, of course, like, her side, like, the part of her community would also, like, demand that, but it's only a matter of time, yes. And of course, like, with the, like, I'll just leave it as is with the definition of a VTuber, where is there, like, there's no problem with, you know, like, IRL stuff. Like, if you're gonna do like walking streams or pretty much like cooking streams or whatnot, like that's considered as IRL, because you're pretty much showing your pilot IRL flesh tuber, whatever. But as long as the majority of your content is mostly VTuber, because you are a VTuber. Because if you're gonna do like 50-50 or 20-80 at that point, where 20% is just VTuber and then 80% is IRL, you're no longer a VTuber. Like, you're just a content creator with a virtual model, or a virtual, So yeah, I guess at the point, Bao is just, you know, out of the VTuber scene, I guess. Or probably later on, where, you know, like, if she thinks about it and just dumps the entire idea of just doing IRL and just go back to being a VTuber, because, you know, with a constant backlash, I guess like it will follow her with, especially with her IRL stuff. So you know, all I'm gonna say is just be careful when it comes to showing your IRL, because y'all like the sickos, the psychos, they seen your face. All they can do is just, I don't want to wish, I don't want to wish this to Bao, but all I'm saying is just be careful, because there are sick people out there that has the technical or technological advantage of tracking. If you know, you know.